Hey everyone, today's video, as you can tell by the title, is about single strand knots, also known as SSK or fairy knots. Now, I know by the title you probably guessed, what? She got rid of her single strand knots? Huh? Yeah, I'm just gonna tell you right now, you cannot get rid of single strand knots, but you can help prevent them. There are several steps I take in my hair journey to prevent single strand knots, and I want to tell you guys what I do. So if you don't know, single strand knots are little knots that usually form at the end of your strands. It is your strands basically attaching upon itself and creating a little small tiny knot. I have 9 tips here that can help you reduce your single strand knots. Leave your hair alone. Stop touching your hair, stop manipulating it, stop doing too much things to your strands. Sometimes, I don't know if you know the saying, out of sight, out of mind. If you don't touch your hair, if you don't manipulate it and are doing various styles, you don't really know that they're in your hair. So that helps me. I try not to think about it, and it lets me think that I don't have any in my hair. Shampoo only on your scalp. Now, if I shampoo or I need to deep cleanse my hair, I will apply it in an applicator bottle and apply it directly to my scalp and only massage my fingertips and get the debris out. And then I would rinse my hair, but I would pull my hair taut as well so my ends don't tangle up. So I try to do that as frequent, as often as I can. Also, I like to shampoo or use an ACV rinse when I have twists just like this. My hair is already tangled and I just put it on my scalp and I don't have to worry about my strands raveling upon each other. Reduce wash and go styles. So wash and goes for me, depending on your hair type or your hair texture, you might not like the effect of it after you've done a wash and go for a couple days or a week. You might see that you have a lot of single strand knots. For my texture, my hair loves to just tangle upon each other. So I don't do wash and goes often because my hair shrinks up a lot. So I would recommend just reducing wash and goes as much as possible. If you have a looser texture, then you probably don't even go through having single strand knots. But if you do have thicker texture or your curls are more tighter, I would recommend reducing your wash and goes. Wear protection. Use a satin pillowcase, wear a satin scarf, silk scarf, a bonnet, anything, a do-rag, who cares? Just wear something to protect your hair so that it's not rubbing against cotton or things that can dry your hair out, and that will help you reduce those single strand knots. Work in sections. Guys, you know I love to work in sections. I usually work anywhere between 4 to 6 sections in my hair. I do have a lot of strands, so I tend to work in smaller sections. If you do that, it will help you. It will save time in your styles or you detangling, and your strands will not just clunk up against each other. I find that if I do anything when my hair is out in the fro, I'm prone to more knottage, I'm prone to more shrinkage, and overall I would just have a lot of single strand knots at the ends of my hair. Moisturizing your strands. I would recommend you to moisturize your hair at least every single day. If you can't do that, at least 3 times a week. Whether that means to add a leave-in or water and seal with an oil, any type of sealant, a pomade, anything. Just make sure you add moisture to your hair, especially on the ends, because they do tend to dry out the fastest. So if you add moisture and keep the moisture in, then your hair won't get dry and brittle and want to knot up upon itself. Detangling your hair. I recommend to finger detangle. If you haven't tried it, I definitely would recommend All Naturals to try that. It's the best way to stop from breakage. You can feel where the knots are, you can feel where the tangles are, so it's easy for you to finger detangle. If you don't like finger detangling, you can use other tools such as dimming brushes or wide tooth combs, shower combs, but make sure you work at the bottom of your strands to the top. Don't start at the top and work to the bottom. You want to get the knots out at the bottom first and then work your way up. Stretch styles or protective styles. Now, I love to protective style when I'm just getting tired of doing my hair, such as twists or braids or weaves or wigs or anything like that. Those are great ways to leave your hair alone so you're not manipulating it or doing styles so that your hair isn't exposed to the sun or to the heat or to the cold. Your ends are wrapped up or tied up, doing buns, doing puffs, but bunning it at the top, anything. I would recommend, even if you are keeping your fro out and you like having your hair out and you like big styles, to use perm rods or flexi rods at the end of your strands, just so your curls can have a uniform curl, so it will make a spiral curl and all your strands will be that one spiral curl. So when knots come is when your different strands are tangling upon themselves, so the one uniform curl will help you reduce those single strand knots. And my last tip is to trim, dust, or do the search and destroy method. So for trimming, like 4 months or 6 months out of the year, and then for dusting, you can trim more often when you dust because you're only taking off maybe a fourth of an inch. So you're taking off a little tiny amount, so you can do it frequently, like maybe every 2 months if you feel it's necessary. But if you are one of those naturals who don't like trimming their hair at all, I would recommend just doing the search and destroy method. So that method takes the longest to do, but it is helping in preventing those single strand knots because you're going through each strand and looking for those knots and you're cutting them off with scissors. So I recommend that. I do all three. I do the search and destroy method all in one day. That would just take entirely too long. I do it over several days and I do each section, and I just do it when I have some free time, when I'm watching videos, watching a movie, just relaxing, and I'll just go through each strand and just cut them. So those are my tips for preventing single strand knots. You cannot get rid of those nasty things, but it's all right. We'll be okay. You can still have healthy, long hair even if you have single strand knots, so don't worry. I hope these tips helped you guys, and I hope you guys implement them in your hair care. Thanks guys for watching this video, and I'll definitely see you in the next one. Peace.